what if it's all a dream?
BP's back!
Hi, it's me. You can call me BP. This is my much needed emotional support, Oliver, and welcome back to our channel. Oliver, how am I supposed to tell them? Like, how am I supposed to tell them what I saw? It's not easy. It's not going to be an easy video, Oliver. I do need your emotional support. So if you would stick around, that would be great. Oliver, how am I supposed to tell them that? Oliver, how am I supposed to tell them? Okay, in case you missed it, we've got some behind the scenes. All right, listen, this is the one time I actually needed you because I have to tell them that Bobby Nash's funeral was filmed. Or was it? Or was it? We got some leaked behind the scene pictures. I don't know if you could actually consider them leaked because they were filming on the streets of Los Angeles, so like anyone could see them. Like someone literally was live streaming the whole thing on TikTok Live. So I don't really know if it's technically considered leaked. But so let me walk you through the order of events that happened yesterday, March 30th. So I log on to reddit.com/911 on Fox because it still has the dead name because we're not going to change it at this point. I see this post that says, "Enter at your own risk, spoilers for season 8. And I'm like, okay. I open it. Big mistake. So I open this post and there are pictures of fire trucks being lined up down the streets of Los Angeles. And one of them, or two of them, are across from each other and they have their two ladders extended. And from the ladder extended, there is an American flag being flown. Now, if you know anything about funerals, that is a very common sign for like a firefighter funeral is that a lot of the trucks, the flag, and everyone was like, oh my God, what the hell? Then we see a picture of a casket, and on the casket, there are the numbers 118. On the caskets are 118. Right. Sure. So the collective, myself and everyone on the internet, starts thinking, all right, well, what could be going on? Because we saw a picture that the guy who plays Gerard is allegedly back. And so people are like, oh, it's Gerard. Gerard died. Gerard was a captain. And the last firehouse that he captained was the 118. So yeah, cool. It could be Gerard. Or could it be Eddie? And people were like, oh my God, it's fucking Eddie Diaz. Eddie Diaz is dead. Because people have been preying on Eddie Diaz's near-death experience, whoever, whatever, for a while now. They've been praying for his downfall for a while now. Alleged downfall. They don't want him to fully die. People were like, okay, sure, right? Then the people, the street reporters, the beat reporters, is that what they called? No, that's a beat cop. What do they call that? I don't know. But they are basically like, okay, well, we don't see any members of the 118 like here. So it can't be what's going on, right? And then we see a picture of like Aisha and like Oliver like in firefighting gear. And so they're like filming something else. And so we're like, oh, okay. They are filming an active like rescue scene. So it's like, it's Gerard. Watch it be Gerard. Then we see Gerard, right? And then we see a picture of the El Paso fire truck 270. And people are thinking to themselves, yep, Eddie Diaz is dead. He's gone. Whatever. They're holding in the funeral in LA because that's where, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, what the fuck are we doing? But then we see confirmation Eddie Diaz is alive and Eddie Diaz is in a suit and he's there and he's alive. But he's in a black suit. All right, whatever. Eddie Diaz is not dead. who is dead? What if it's Buck? Nope, we see a picture of Buck. Buck's in his like fancy dress uniform. It's not Buck. Buck's not dead, but clearly they're there for a funeral. They also see a picture of Chimney. Chimney's not dead. So then, who the fuck is it? Then time goes on, and then boom! Then we get hit with this picture. Right. I said I wanted May Grant back, but like not like this. So May holding a hat, it's Bobby's. It's clearly Bobby's. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Then we get a new picture of the truck, the 118 truck. Then we see like the boots and the flowers and the casket. And then we see a turnout coat. And guess what's written on the back of that fucking turnout coat? Nash. They killed my fucking peepaw, right? Then we get more content of them filming, and it's the processional, whatever. It's the captain. I want to say his name is Alonzo. He's standing next to Athena. Athena is standing there. She's got these big sunglasses on. May's next to her. May's got Bobby's hat, and then there's Harry, right? That's the family line. Then behind that is the line of, like, you would assume the 118 firefighters. And then behind that is, like, more firefighters, more cops, whatever, right? But in that first procession line after the family, it's weird. It's a weird group of people, right? It goes Gerard, Eddie, who is not, he's just in a suit. He's in a plain suit. Hen, Buck, Chimney, Ravi, Tommy Kennard. Why the fuck is Tommy Kennard there? You don't work there. He doesn't even work here. Why is he didn't even work that long under Bobby Nash. So why is he in, anyway, confusing, throwing people off, right? Then we check back in with our guy, I forgot his name, who was live streaming it on TikTok, and they were like, oh, show the coat. He shows the coat again. It no longer says Nash. And people said, so is Peepaw kicking the bucket or not? Is Bobby kicking the bucket or not? What is going on? What's going on, right? Then we get more like content of like them on the street, and there's like this weird like tiff that kind of goes on between like Lou and Oliver and Ryan seems to kind of like have some choice words for Lou. People on the internet haven't really figured out what he said, but it looks something along the lines of like, oh, have some manners, whatever. I don't know if this is Lou and Ryan talking or if they are running lines as Tommy and Eddie. We'll stick a pin in that. We'll come back to that. But then towards the end of the night, when we have all like, you know, spiraled and lost our minds, we get this content of them all taking this fucking group picture around dead Bobby Nash's jacket, and they like are looking super excited about it. Now I get it. It's the actors, not the characters. But I'm like, what? Okay. But now the jacket says Nash again. They're taking the group picture and the jacket says Nash again. Fucking weird, right? And then to round off the night of content, Oliver fucking Stark,
that boy bad news, he a menace to society,
post these two things on his Instagram story. And I want you to notice. I want you to take note of the time that these were screenshotted from. Because they were up for, I swear to God, less than a minute. Less than 2 at max. How did you catch them, BP? I don't know. Woman's intuition? So then we all go to sleep, scared for Bobby Nash's life, right? We wake up this morning and we get this new behind the scenes clip of, now this is actually like, and I assumed leaked behind the scenes. I don't know, because it doesn't look like it's filmed on the streets of fucking LA in broad daylight on a Sunday, right? And Chimney says in it, you're not half the man that Bobby was, or something like that. You're not half the man Bobby was. He says something along those lines, and people were like, was? Past tense? No, fuck, wrong. Now, I want to talk about some theories about what's happening and what I think could be happening, right? Do I believe that Bobby Nash is dead and gone? No, I don't think he's dead and gone, because hear me out, okay? Well, first of all, I did some research and they were saying that the full like getup that everyone was having, like the way that they were dressed, is for like to honor a member of the fire department who died in the line of duty. So first of all, fuck that. Second of all, hear me out. What if, hear me back, hear me out here, hear me out. What if it better be a fucking dream? You cannot kill off Bobby Nash. Anyway, why I think it could potentially be a dream, right? What if it's Eddie's coma verse, but it's Eddie's nightmare verse, right? Because Buck's was like, his coma verse was kind of like happy positive. What if Eddie's coma verse is like negative, like super negative, right? Okay. And it's like a, what if everything goes wrong? Okay. Because, so we see the El Paso, we see the El Paso truck come, which quite honestly, I recognize could just be because they have the prop on set. I don't know enough about firefighter regulations and all of that, because if Eddie was in fact a firefighter in El Paso and Bobby did kick the bucket, would Eddie be allowed to come back in his like El Paso getup? Right? Okay, so what if it's like Eddie's coma nightmare, on which like Gerard comes back to the 118, so like what the fuck does this mean? Is it all a dream? Is it all a hotshot fever dream? Because why then would you post this picture of Brad hugging what I assume to be Bobby, and then just a picture of fucking Brad?
That boy bad news, he a menace to society.
Menace to society, Oliver Stark. I'm glad we can agree on one thing. So back to Eddie's coma nightmare verse, right? So what if like he actually ends up working for El Paso? It's not a good fit, right? And he just like is not having it with El Paso. And then Gerard takes over for the 118. Bobby ends up doing something that gets him to ride on the back of the fire truck. But then what's crazy and what makes me think it's not real is because Tommy's in the processional line. Tommy works with the chopper crew in the 217 Harbor Station. Why the fuck would he be marching behind Bobby Nash's casket? I don't know. Not me. I don't know. I'm not Tim Minear. I do have some choice words for him, depending on the outcome of the storyline. Then like but then what if part of Eddie's coma nightmare verse is that Buck and Tommy get back together, because Tommy goes and Tommy takes his place at the 118, right? Because Gerard comes back and then Gerard loves Tommy. Gerard brings Tommy back. And then we have Robbie and Tommy and Buck and Hen and Chim all together, big happy family. Eddie gets kicked out. It's a coma nightmare verse. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot that has come out like after the fact, other than that like line about Chimney, and people like the two like theories, the big theories that are being tossed around right now is that this is not real. Because why would they film that big of a spoiler in broad daylight on Sunday in Los Angeles? The city that never sleeps. Wrong city. Right? Why would they film the biggest death in their show in broad daylight in Los Angeles on a fucking Sunday, right? People are coming out of church, people coming out to brunch, and they're like, oh look, Bobby Nash's funeral, right? I just like don't believe they would do that. I don't believe they would do that. They have money and put it on a soundstage. Why do they? I don't know. I just would like to believe. Also, like, I know we all thought Buck was gonna die. Buck didn't die. We all thought Bobby was going to die 2 seasons ago. He didn't die. Was that 2 seasons ago? Yes. Yes, it was. I don't know. I just thought I would share it with you so you can spiral with me. This is your safe space to spiral. All theories are welcome. Nothing is off the table except for actual MCD. Actually, I don't care. MCD in the comments all you want. But I'm worried. I'm worried for Tim Minear's brain. I'm worried for what he's thinking. I don't know. But in conclusion, rip Peepaw. Question mark. Feel free to drop your screamings, your theories, your thoughts, your fever thoughts, your fever dreams. What's going on? All theories are welcome. Please don't fight with each other. You probably won't, but I just had to say that just in case. And the annoying thing about this is we are not going to figure out what actually is going to come from this for like maybe another month, 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. Anyway, what the fuck?